Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, and I'm joined with Connor.
Hey guys.
We're going to talk about The Tick, Season 1, Episode 1. It's the pilot. It's not actually confirmed, I think, if we're even going to get like a full season, because this is the Amazon pilot season where they put out the pilots and they get
People vote
feedback.
on
And
which ones they
yeah.
want. Yeah.
I don't think that necessarily means that they only get one. I think in the past there have been multiple. Like
I
it's
think
just,
they did like almost all of them last time they did this.
yeah,
They
so,
had more pilots as well, I think, last time.
yeah, there's only three this time, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But the first one we're going to talk about all three of them um, over the next day or two. But the first one we're talking about today is The Tick, which is based on a, I don't know if it was a comic first, but it was a cartoon in
It
the
was a
90s.
comic
Was it comic
first,
first?
yeah.
Right, so there was a comic, and then there was a cartoon in the 90s, and then there was a live action TV show, I think on Fox, on and around 2000, 2001, which only lasted 9 episodes. And this is, I think it's Ben Edlund who is like the creator, and he's actually involved in this
Yeah, he's
show.
definitely I don't know
Yeah,
the name, but I know the creator is definitely involved.
yeah, I think it's
Quite
Ben Edlund.
hands-on from what I've read.
Um, so this is like another reboot, and I think the first thing, and as we always do with pilots, we will start this spoiler free, and we'll go into some spoilers towards the end. I don't think there's too much spoiler stuff we're going to talk about, but we'll talk about a little few things at the end. So the first thing that struck me about this is it's shot in 2.40 to 1. You know, it's the
Yeah,
wide
it's nice, isn't it?
movie ratio, which actually is really nice, and it immediately made it feel more expensive than it perhaps.
It's mad how just something so simple makes it feel higher quality.
The other thing that makes it look and feel higher quality is that it's directed by Wally Pfister.
Yeah.
Wally Pfister, who was the director of photography on most of Christopher Nolan's films and recently started directing himself. Now, the film he directed a couple of years ago called Transcendence, Best Left Forgotten, not very good, but the guy does visuals, and this didn't feel like a TV show, it looked like a movie.
It did. It just felt really sleek.
Yeah, it was really sleek. So what is this about? It's about the Tick himself is not actually the main character. The main character is a guy named Arthur, who's this sort of like little guy. He's got glasses. He's a dweeb, but he's obsessed with crime because his father was killed tragically like 20 years ago from these supervillains. This is a world where there is superheroes and there's supervillains, and they're kind of goofy. They have goofy costumes and things like that. And he is obsessed with proving that the supervillain who is responsible for his father's death and the death of some superheroes still exists and is still alive because the world believes him to be dead.
Yeah.
So, but people think he's delusional and he's on meds, and his sister's like taking care of him. And the Tick is a superhero that he sort of just runs into one night while he's out surveying when he's not meant to be. And I feel like
Yeah.
you want to say something, Connor, but save it for spoilers because I think I know what you want to say.
I was thinking, and I was like, no, I'm gonna save that.
Yeah,
I,
that's
I, I
that.
caught myself before I was like, no,
That
no, wait.
that's spoiler talk.
Yeah, it is.
But it's I actually quite like this.
I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was gonna. It's very much an update for modern audiences.
It was, but at the same time, I felt like it had a very.
It kind of has that campiness almost.
It felt very 90s, but without like feeling da- overly
It
dated.
kind of took some of the 90s cheese, but then threw in a bit of modern grittiness.
Yeah, like it's like we said, the visuals are so good and it's so sleekly made that it gives all of the absurd kind of comedy of some of the stuff a bit more. I don't know.
But it makes it seem almost a little bit more ridiculous, doesn't it?
It does actually, yeah.
Because it looks good by today's standards. Whereas if you look at like the 90s superhero stuff like this, you look at it and you go, oh, it doesn't look very good. So it kind of the cheese kind of feels like it feels accidental.
Yeah,
Whereas this feels like it's intentionally cheesy.
yeah, stuff from the 90s, superhero shows from the 90s actually felt very cheap. This does not feel cheap at all.
Yeah. Not in the slightest.
So it gives it a really interesting dynamic. I really liked the music. It had that very sort of again, kind of cheesy superhero sort of
It
themes.
did, but then it had this like Birdman-esque jazz drum stuff going on that I really loved.
Hmm. We should mention that Peter Serafinovich plays the Tick, and he was doing some great work in this. His over-the-top superhero voice, which is very intentional.
This
Uh,
is what I mean about the cheese. He really t just turns it up a notch.
yeah, yeah. I'm the Tick, like that sort of voice.
Yeah,
But he's got the sort of voice that can sustain it and like do full scenes and in that ridiculous
it's
voice.
impressive.
It's actually a very simple episode. It just kind of sets up the basically everything that I said to you this was about. This episode sets up that backstory. We see a flashback of his dad dying, and we see sort of just who Arthur is, setting up the main threat and the main plot of him trying to prove this supervillain exists, and that the Tick is now going to help him, and the Tick sees him as a possible sidekick because he's like,
It is very much a
brainy.
typical pilot in that sense.
Yeah. It's only 30 minutes, which I'm guessing it'll be going forward, but it's kind of. It reminds me of Ash versus Evil Dead, not in terms of any sort of like plot or anything like that, or anything that's in it, just in the sense that it's half an hour, but it's not a sitcom. It's still a kind of a drama where there's a serialized plot that, we'd be following all season. It feels. I don't know, it's almost like a new thing that we have now that they're experimenting with on certain networks and things like Amazon, where they're going, oh, we can make something that's a bit shorter, half an hour, but it's not, a sitcom.
Yeah, it's not 20 minutes short.
Yeah, but it's not even just the length; it's the content, it's the way it sets itself
It
up.
feels tight.
It feels like an actual serialized drama.
Yeah, yeah, it
It
does.
doesn't feel like a sitcom where it's the same kind of setups every episode, and like we don't typically talk about sitcoms on the show because there's not really a whole lot to talk about. Like as much as I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, every week we'd all what would we say? We would be reiterating jokes. Did we like it? Yeah, sure. We'd have almost nothing to talk about. Whereas Ash versus Evil Dead, this, at least in theory, because obviously we've only watched one episode, I can see having stuff to talk about every week. I can see plot developments and theories, and
Yeah, there's no reason to assume there wouldn't be.
so no. No, I
No,
liked it. I say this though as someone, I know some people who, I seen just some general consensus online, some fans of the original stuff weren't as keen on this.
meh.
So we are coming very much from the perspective of people who'd never heard of this character until they announced this show.
See, you say that, but the guy who created the character is on board with this, and
Oh
he's
yeah.
like, "Well, this is the direction I want it to be for today." So it's like, well, just accept it.
I know, I get that too. But there are some people who are like, oh, this isn't the tone that I wanted or expected
Do you know what I'll
from
tell you the tone, like the opening little bit reminded me of a lot.
the
Ratchet and Clank.
very similar voice actually. The text
Very
voice,
similar,
yeah.
yeah, and the over the top, it's the over the top delivery and just the way it's setting it up, like the way it's presenting as like a voiceovery thing.
I wonder if Whoopi Goldberg is going to be a recurring guest because she plays herself in this as like a TV presenter and interviewer. Like, well, she is that in real life these days, but interviewing a superhero called Superior,
Yes.
which is a very douchebag superhero name, may I add.
Yeah, he is basically douchebag Superman.
Yeah,
So
that's his
he'd
character.
fit right in a Snyder movie.
Uh, but no, I actually quite like this. I hope this gets picked up. I'm
No, I
getting
had
for
a.
more.
It looks a lot better in action than it does on those set pictures. I'll tell you that now. You know, we saw like the pictures of him in the costume, and it looks not great.
Cinematography.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what
no.
that is.
Oh no,
Cinematography.
absolutely.
So no, we'll jump into a brief couple of minutes of spoiler talk. So full spoilers from this point on. If you haven't watched it yet, go check it out if you're interested. But yeah, so spoilers.
Mm.
So it's very blatant from when the tick shows up, and then from what the sister says to Arthur, that the show is really playing with the idea that the tick might not be real.
It very much wants you to think that, doesn't it?
But at the same time, I'm like, but we see the tick on his own like take out this like building of villains and blows it up and like bullets bounce off him. So I'm trying to interpret. If we're going with the theory that he's not real and he's in his head, like, so is A, Arthur actually got superpowers and doesn't know it, and this is his coping like with it. B, did that not really happen at all? But if so, then how did he get the box with the
Right.
costume?
So
You know,
here,
like,
I was thinking about it because it sets it up very quickly and it makes you very aware that this could be an idea. And I was looking at the way it times it. You don't see the tick again till after the sister drops him off. It's clever that way because obviously he goes into police custody, and then the sister comes and takes him home, and then it cuts back to the tick. So it's almost like he could have gone back out there after that.
yeah. Yeah, that's correct. At the same time, though, I feel like it is such an obvious like play, and they're going to play with the idea that it might be, and there's probably going to be a lot of humour that comes from Arthur trying to tell his sister
Because he doesn't show up on the Google
Yeah.
search.
exactly, and that's more like evidence. That's like some proper Mr. Robot style evidence.
It
there.
does. Mr. Robot jumps to mind immediately. Like,
But why? I'm inclined to think he's not imaginary. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I can see the moment where everyone thinks he's crazy that he's saying the tick exists, and then
the tick shows him.
in the season finale probably the tick just saunters out and like dodges some bullets or something in front of people, and there's just going to be that moment of like everyone standing with their jaws wide open because Arthur's not a complete psychopath.
I think him being real would be way more fun for the show. So I can see them taking that route.
But at the same time, I can see it being a really sweet story if Arthur technically manages to do all this himself, really, and the tick's just like a coping mechanism for.
Yeah, because it's setting it all up to be him being a sidekick, which is weird for the show to focus on the sidekick, I think.
Yeah, but it's the kind of show that I completely get why they're doing that.
Well, no, I get why they're doing it, but it's an interesting move to focus on the sidekick, and what it does is it makes you think that maybe he is the tick, because why else would they focus on why focus on the sidekick instead
Now,
of the name?
of course, people who have read the comics or watched the animated show or the old show are probably like, I know the answer to this, or
I don't think they do.
do you not? This is
No,
a new thing.
I think Arthur was always the sidekick. I think,
Okay.
and I think
Well, no,
this is
but-
just a new thing for this version. Like I said, it's been a modern update, and I think that's new for this.
Okay, but it gives it more weight. Like it made me instantly more interested in everything. I'm like, oh, this adds layers to this. Like, even if it turns out that it's not this, like the idea that
It could have been. It makes you think.
yeah, it could represent him using this to be brave and to do like
Yeah.
face his fears and so on. I will say also I like Jackie Earl Haley as the over the top evil guy who comes over and steals his ice cream.
Yeah,
That was good.
oh, well, that's good.
But no, that's the tick. I actually really liked it. I hope it.
I want to give a shout out to the action scene as well. Just where he's walking through and they're all just shooting at him.
And he gets hit in the face with the wood, and then he's like, sneaky.
Sneaky. It's so fun.
Oh, speaking of fun stuff, him looking for the secret like entrance in Arthur's apartment by like pulling in books to see if it opens a door.
It's like there's like a candlestick.
Yeah.
He's like, nope.
Pulling the lamp like stand and just
It's where he pulls the lamp and then just knocks it over and nothing happens. It's like, my mum gave me that.
yeah. No, I thought it was good fun. So I hope we get more of the tick.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm not sure how long it traditionally takes, but given that I've not probably shot any more of it, I'd imagine it'll be at least spring
Yeah, probably.
before we get full
Maybe
seasons.
next summer even.
Yeah, before we get full. Summer would be good because summer content's always worth getting more of.
It is always worth getting more of. That said, I'm down for watching this whatever time of year.
Yes. So that's the tick. Let us know what you thought in the comments below. Like and subscribe and all that stuff. It helps us out a lot. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We will see you next time.